good interweb? This is your boy Q the Geek back again with yet another Geek Talk 006. We're almost 2-7, but not quite yet. And as usual, I have more than a few things to talk about, especially gaming-wise. And I got my pad here because Nintendo just had a Direct on September the 13th, which is just a few days ago. And damn, was it a Direct for the ages. Actually, I think this was probably the best Direct that I've ever seen in Nintendo had. Sometimes what I'll do is put it as background music or background noise, but this time I watched pretty much the whole thing, especially when it came to the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, I was not so interested in the 3DS things because, you know, if you've listened to anything or just read the writing on the wall when it comes to how fans are perceiving Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Switch, everybody pretty much wants the 3DS to die. Would I have loved to have Metroid Return, the Samus Returns on the Switch rather than the 3DS? Yes, but I do understand that you still have to cater to the millions and the millions of fans and people that have a 3DS right now. But by no further ado, let me jump right into the game that caught my attention first and foremost because I was in love with the first game, which is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And if you're a fan of anime, if you're a fan of active time battles, and if you're a fan of an epic story that kind of reminds me of Skies of Arcadia, when you're going from Titan to Titan, look, I'm already confused and already jumbled up because the game has me so hyped up and so excited that I cannot wait until December 1st to play it. It looks like it's going to be more government inside of this game, more than they had on the first one, and I really love that. I'm wondering if it's going to be anything that has to do with the Mechonis, if it's going to have anything to do with the Bionis, it's going to have anything to do with the Monado. I always remember Shulk. The Monado! I remember that. I wonder if it's going to have any homage to that because it does seem like it's within the same world, and I'm just so interested to see it. I mean, for Mario's sake, we actually are going to be able to ride like a little small Titan, and that's where the main hero Rex's living quarters are. That's going to be cool, and his Titan makes a little joke that he's going to do something for a girl. So I'm really interested in this game, and I'm especially interested in the fact that this has a protagonist who actually talks. One of my biggest gripes about role-playing games, and especially in the modern era, is please do not make me have a silent protagonist. Now, Akira on Persona 5, they played that very well by him being a silent protagonist, so that's a different story. If you can play it correctly and you have the other characters talk and you can make some kind of gestures or noises or do something where it fits within the parameters of the game, then so be it. But that's the main game that I've been excited about. We've seen the Mario Odyssey already, and everybody's already hyped up for, was it October 27th, I think that is coming out. So we're already super hyped up for the game. So damn it, can we just get the game? Like, this is going to be bigger than Breath of the Wild, and it's always a toss-up with me with Zelda and with Mario. Which one do I like more? I might have to go with Mario a little bit because that's the icon. That's the showstopper. That's Mario, you know? But it looks amazing. I still need to pick up Mario Rabbids, but you know what? With listen to the list of things that I'm about to say, and you're gonna realize, like, damn, it's a lot of games coming out. Nintendo is not playing around this year. A lot of people have been jumping on the bandwagon now for the Nintendo Switch that were not on it because of the fact that, damn, look at the games. Mario Odyssey is saying that it's going to have, at least that we've seen, 8 worlds, and you're going to be able to do different things on each world without using your hat. I forget the hat's name. But you're going to be able to use the hat to control dinosaurs and basically everything that we've seen already, but more of it. It's supposed to be other worlds within the game that we have not yet to see. So I'm very interested to see. I'm glad that they did not spoil too much, because you don't want to spoil too much for a game like that. Another game that's got me really, really hyped up that comes out soon is that Fire Emblem Warriors. If you are a fan of any of the Samurai Warrior games that came back way back in the day, or if you're familiar with the Hyrule Warriors, which basically the Nintendo Wii U did, and I'm waiting for it to come on the Switch for a port, but what they did is, you will love this game. Basically, you get your favorite heroes and you go around, and it is a button mashing game, but they do have different techniques, and it usually has its own story within the story. And I liked the game. I really liked Hyrule Warriors, and I like Fire Emblem characters. I need to go back into the archives and play more Fire Emblem games. My favorite characters are still Marth and Lyn. I didn't like, what was it, Alderwood or Roy, I think was one of those. I saw Elwood, I think that was his real name. They switched it to Roy. So I did like those games. I remember the first one I played on the ROM way back in the day, right when I found out who Marth was when they did Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. But I'm really excited for that game. What I'm really enjoying about this slew of games that are coming for Nintendo is they have some games that we can play that are single player games that you can invest a lot of time into, and then they have some other games like some of the ones I'm about to talk about, as in Rocket League, which is a huge game when it comes to the esports, and now it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to have some Nintendo content, as well as Skyrim, and something I did not expect to happen was Doom and Wolfenstein Colossus. Yes, Wolfenstein Colossus, which many people were screaming and hollering that the Nintendo Switch would not be able to handle it at all. The rumor mill is saying that the Doom, which is all these games are made by Bethesda, Skyrim, Doom, and Wolfenstein, that Doom is actually a created system that the developers made just for the Switch. It does look like it's a little more blurry than it is for the other ones, for the other systems. However, it's not a 360 port like the rumors and people were screaming and hollering that it was going to be. Now, the biggest thing which everybody's saying, because I just checked my own memory for my Switch, because I only got 64 gigabyte, I got to upgrade, is the fact that a lot of the games like LA Noire, which is also on the list that's coming out, as well as Doom and Wolfenstein and the 2K, which is an instant 25 gigabytes, and I think it's like 5 gigabytes per save. That's killing the whole thing with the memory. Now, I know that Nintendo has this deal with a micro SD developer, and I know that they have this whole thing that's coming down with GameStop, because GameStop loves Nintendo because it's selling all these extra accessories, Joy-Cons and peripherals. So we have to see if they're going to do some kind of discount for this. And like I've been hearing rumblings about anyway too, that pretty soon, by next year, especially since Nintendo has lost this lawsuit and everything, it's probably going to be a new Switch, probably next year this time. And next year this time, they're probably going to put it with some kind of 500 gigabyte or something like that where you can buy it for more. But I'm really excited about those games. And another game which I just finished the demo, well, for the second time, that I'm super excited about is the Octopath Traveler. And if you are a fan of role-playing games, then like I said earlier, the Switch is seeming like it's going to be a system from the indie-based role-playing games that are out, as well as, what did I just talk about, with the Xenoblade, and the Mario Rabbids, and the Skyrim, and Octopath Traveler, which I just beat the demo, I'm repeating myself, but I just beat the demo, is a homage to an old school type RPG. It reminds me of, because the Octopath, it's 8 different stories, so there's the whole thing, with the Octopath Traveler, and they all meet up. It reminds me a lot of a real popular game that Square Enix came, I'm not going to say it was real popular, it was a game that Squaresoft at the time, which is, Square Enix now, came out with called Saga Frontier. It was like 6 to 8 different characters, and they all had their own respective storylines. And then on certain characters you can meet up. I remember Blue and Red, and what was her name? Amelia, who was the convict. That was a great game. And what I like about the Switch, what it's doing, from just a list of things here, from the Doom and from the Wolfenstein, from the Dragon Quest Builder, which looks really good as well, Kirby Star Allies, and Rocket League, Murphy's Law, which really looks good, is the fact that they have different variety of games, much like PlayStation has done, but Nintendo looks like it's not being afraid to try something new when it comes to these 8-bit and 16-bit looking games. And it really has me excited, and it's almost kind of rejuvenated some of my gaming lore, because sometimes recently I have been going to game stores or downloading games or doing things online, and I felt like, other than Persona 5 and a few other games, I had lost place with what gaming was a little bit, because everything was graphics and online play, and I wanted a game that kind of struck my heart chord, so to speak. Not so much with story, but just the fact that it was a gameplay. The Octopath Traveler is not the best looking game, but it's the best looking game for what it is, if that makes sense at all. And the way that they do the sound, which is amazing, and the way that they use the graphics and the background with the fog and some of the grain textures that they do is amazing. And I love the story plots that's within it. I also am very excited about Lost Sphere that's coming out, Sonic Forces, and Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2? Are you kidding me? So a lot of companies have kept their word, like Capcom and Bethesda, which see that they can make money on Nintendo from pre-orders and from Super Street Fighter 2, and they decided, well damn, let's put the rest of our big hitters on the Switch. So other than the memory problem and the whole, stupid Splatoon's jack thing, and I think I might have found a way to get around that, but we'll save that for later. But other than that, I mean, it's an exciting time not only to be a gamer and a fan of Nintendo, but just with competition breeds, excellence. If it was not for the console wars as far as Sega and Super Nintendo, some of the best games we had would never have existed. And I still play my PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 all the time, as well as Super Nintendo and some of the old systems all the time. And I don't think that the Switch is going to directly take place of the PlayStation games, but it's going to be an added bonus. I was watching some football over the weekend while I was playing the Switch. That's a beautiful thing. I'm watching the NFL while playing the NBA 2K, and that's a beautiful thing. But enough with the video games for now. I'm like out of breath. I'm super excited because I really wanted to jump on right after the direct, but I got a little busy, but I'm back. It's only a few days afterwards. And another thing that's really got me super excited is this My Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia, Baku no My Hero Academia. It's almost at its end. I think it's one episode left. It was 23 episodes for this season. And I love the fact that they're following this same shonen type aspect where it's a tournament and it's a tournament, but it's not really a tournament. They're using the school format to be able to go deeper within the story. My prediction is, what's his name? Kashin. I said Baku no Kashin. Kashin, the rival of Deku, is going to end up being like the blood killer, the hero killer Stain. I think that he's going to be like that. And one of the things that I heard somebody say on a video not too long ago, I'm not sure who it was it For Never World, or who was it? Was it Bob, Sam? I can't remember. But anyway, they were talking about how they hated a lot of animes which put story plots within the within side of the openings and closings, and I kind of think that is true, because if you look at the opening and, well, not the closing of this season of My Hero, but if you look at the opening of My Hero this time around, you see Stain and you see Kachin and how they kind of are similar, and Kachin didn't even pick his own like hero name. It's just Kachin, you know. And I'm really interested to see if what's going to go down with this whole All Might versus Deku and Kachin battle, because on the last episode at the end we see the beady eye of All Might, and is All Might going to be able to handle these two, or are those two going to be able to handle the full might of All Might? I've actually finally come around to Froppy, because they start making her smarter and showing that she actually has tactics. I'm still not so sure why there's so much hentai and fan service for Froppy. Maybe because her boobs are big, but I would have thought that would have actually been Mamo, which I do like Mamo a lot too. But a lot of the characters within the series are actually starting to get light shed on them, and I'm really excited about that. Another anime that I start picking up again was that Boruto, and a friend of mine, that's his little nickname, but he was talking to me about, he's seen some of Boruto in the later episodes. I think he's like on high teens, and I just finally start watching it. I'm like on episode 11, and he was explaining to me that some of the old characters come back, and now it's kind of catering a lot to the old characters rather than the new characters. And I was actually starting to get a little sluggish while I'm only on episode 11, is because it was a little slow paced, and I did want to see more of Naruto. I haven't seen Sakura but once in the series, and I wanted to see Sasuke and his dynamic and everything that went down with the old story, and I wanted to see some more Kakashi. I wanted to see a lot of different things. Sadara, I like Sadara, and I wanted to see more of her, and I just got to an episode where her and Boruto just start like hooking up and doing different things within the story. So I'm excited about that, and I'm a little apprehensive. I know a lot of people have been screaming and hollering like it's Dragon Ball Super, and just, you know how Dragon Ball is, but Dragon Ball Super has come to a standstill for me. I still watch it, of course. That's one of my favorite all-time animes. However, it's gotten a little sluggish for me. I am thankful that that whole rumor is not true, that Vegeta was gonna get kicked out before Master Roshi. I'm so thankful that that shit didn't happen, because if that happened, my feelings would have really been hurt. I don't know what I would have done if my boy Vegeta got kicked out before Master Roshi and is sitting on the damn sidelines with Krillin and Tien. Like, come on now. So I really would like to see this whole tournament speed up, and I would really love to see what's it name, Tipu. I want to see on Jiren. I really want to see Jiren's powers, but they have this Piccolo complex, I think, in Dragon Ball. I don't know why. They always get these different color alien characters that are like silent but strong, that Goku and the group have to overcome. Remember, there was Pikkon, that was like Piccolo, and then now there's Jiren, and it was somebody else I'm missing, where they were all like these stoic type characters that were tall and just, you know, gruff voice, and for me, I'm kind of over that. I really wish that they would incorporate a little more of the Dragon Ball GT into it, not the whole story per se, but I would like to see a more grown-up Trunks and Gotens, and I would also like to see some kind of better balance of the and better balance of the powers, you know, because it just seems like it's all over the place, and I'm getting a little frustrated with Goku goofing around so damn much that it's really made me a little disgusted because he's just, I don't know, what is he doing. But NFL season has started. I'm not going to get too much into that. Basketball season is around the corner. My Dodgers have finally decided to get off of that 11-game skid that they were on, and all is well in most of geekdoms. It's going to be a big year, geeks and geekettes, when it comes to video games and when it comes to this content that we have to shell out our money for. And not to mention that the Super Nintendo Mini, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get one, but the Super Nintendo Mini, it drops at the end of this month. So if you can get it, get it. If you can flip it to get more, and however you can do that. But I just got on here, had to do another Geek Talk, get all this Nintendo Direct out of my system, throw a little gameplay, and talk about some things I was excited about as far as anime and video games. And as always, this has been your boy Q, your friendly neighborhood geek. If you did like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to stay up to date on all things geek. Peace!